In today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about the dangers of the before and after, and why you shouldn't take everything you see at face value. Stay tuned.
You're listening to the Wellness Simplified podcast. Simple wellness tips to help you improve your life without turning it upside down. With your host, award-winning fitness instructor, nutrition coach, and wellness expert, Susie Fevens.
Welcome back. Yes, today we're talking about before and afters. And of course, there's lots of different kinds of before and after photos out there. And frankly, any of them can be kind of hijacked to make the transformation seem more amazing than it is. But I, of course, am talking more about health, fitness, weight loss, weight gain, whatever the scenario is before and afters. Because we are inundated with all of these photos. Well, maybe you're not. I am, because it's the industry I'm in, and a lot of people I follow on social media fall under that category. But everybody's trying to show how effective their program is, how theirs the best one to lose fat, to get rid of cellulite, to build strong muscles, whatever the case may be. And how do you demonstrate that? Well, by sharing before and after photos of your clients, of course. So this has been on the top of my mind because I follow a social media schedule of sorts. So each week I kind of do something a little bit differently. And one of the weeks out of the month focuses on transformation. And because I'm in the fitness industry, you would think that my posts during the week where I'm talking transformation would be before and afters. But unless it's photos of myself, and usually those aren't really before and afters, they're like previous and now, I never post pictures of other people. And there's a few good reasons for that. Number one, I really value the privacy of my clients. Sometimes I will share in stories little snippets from texts or messages or emails that I get, but I always remove all of their identifying info. So if they see it, it's only them and myself who knows that it's them. Nobody else does. But I never post photos, and unless it's something that somebody has shared themselves and tagged me, and then I will reshare it. But otherwise, I value your privacy. So I'm not going to share information with people, and I'm not going to ask you to share that information, because I could easily do what lots of other people do and request their clients send them photos if they are comfortable with me sharing. I'm not comfortable with that. There's a lot of reasons for that, and one of them, of course, is the fact that these can be falsified pretty easily. All you need is a couple filters, changing the angles, changing the light, and suddenly it looks like someone lost 20 pounds when really all they did was adjust their clothing, the lighting, and their positioning, and the photos were taken just moments apart. But more importantly, to me, the transformations I care most about are not on the outside, unless they are in the way you look, like hold yourself or feel about yourself, and that can be something that you can see physically. But as far as your physical person goes, I am not overly concerned about whether you've gained or lost weight. What I am concerned about is what changes have happened on the inside that allow you to be the healthier version of yourself. I want to know that you're able to manage your anxiety better or your stress levels better. Maybe you're able to sleep more soundly than you were before. You feel more energized. You feel happier in your body. You accept your body. You have better digestion. Those types of things. Those are the things that I care about. And yeah, those can absolutely show on the outside, but a traditional before and after photo is not going to tell me what I want to know. It's not going to tell me what I most care about. And for sure, it would be easy enough for me to request those types of photos from my clients, knowing that that's what the people want. That's what the people want when they're choosing a program. They want to see how good that they can look after they do it. But that's not my deal. That is not my deal. So who knows? I may change my mind in 4 years' time, but right now I'm saying that's not the route I'm going. And yeah, I probably could scale my business and get a lot more clients a lot more quickly if I did that, but it is not true to who I want to be, and it's not true to the business I want to build. I do not care if you are a size 8, a size 14, or a size 22. What I care about is the choices that you're making and the strides you're making to be your healthiest version of you, and that might mean that you don't lose any weight at all, ever. As long as you feel good in your body, your health tests are getting better, or are already good, those are the things that matter to me, okay? So I'm not going to start posting before and afters, even though that is the easiest way to get more clients, truly. I'm more concerned about the inside work. And the inside work isn't nearly as Instagrammable. And it reminds me of like doing a home renovation, because we all love seeing that before photo and that after photo, where it goes from one thing into this new, beautiful, amazing thing. Some of us are interested in the in-between, seeing all the stuff that went down, all the setbacks, all the messes that we came across, things that slowed down the process, things that made it more expensive, all of the problems that those people had to overcome to get to that finished product. But most people are just interested in the finished product. And what's interesting is, unless you're making real structural changes, you can take a room and do a makeover, a transformation in a relatively short period of time by repainting, different furniture, different layout, without ever going deeper. So why does that matter? Obviously, every time you're redoing a room, you're not going to rip down the walls, because that would be absolute insanity. But if you knew that there was something wrong inside those walls, you knew that maybe there was a mold problem or there was a rot problem inside, but the wall itself looked okay, and you just painted over it, you could still achieve that same after without taking care of the things that really mattered. You could still make it look pretty while inside it is an actual mess. And that might be okay for the short term if you just needed to slap a band-aid on it for a matter of a month or two while you sort of got your ducks in a row and got things sorted out. That can be fine. But if that is how you're handling it, by just painting over a problem and pretending it doesn't exist below the surface, you're going to find yourself in a real dandy of a problem down the road. Maybe not very far down the road. Maybe it will be 10 years before it catches up to you. But if you know that there's a structural issue and you don't handle it, instead just try to make things look pretty on the surface, that's going to catch up with you. And that's exactly the same with your health. If your focus is on the outside, trying to make the outside look pretty, but you know that there's things going on inside and you're not dealing with them, you're going to get yourself into trouble. And it might not be today, and it might not be in 5 years, but eventually that will catch up to you. But if you stop and say, you know what? I'm going to pull a Mike Holmes here and say, if you're going to do it, let's do it right. Let's not worry about losing 10 pounds or toning up my flabby arms or whatever your primary grief is. Everybody has one. And go deeper to the other things that you know aren't working well. If you know your digestion is messed up, if you know you're not sleeping well, if you know you're so stressed you can't even think straight, if you know that you have a hormonal imbalance, if you know that you're burnt out, if you know that you're having all of these other issues, who the hell cares if you're a size 6 or a size 12? Nobody. At least nobody that matters. Anyone who truly cares about you is going to be more interested in you taking care of yourself, the self under the surface, than they are about the outside polishing up, right? So let's just keep that in mind when we are on the social medias and we're seeing all these before and afters. We're seeing these people who had a baby 3 seconds ago and now have a visible 6-pack. Like, maybe that's fine for them, and I'm not hating on anyone who has that as their reality, because there are some people who that's been their experience. That is fine. That is not the normal, and that is not what you should expect yourself to be, whether you've just had a baby or having one or never having one, whatever. And those of us who have uterus, generally speaking, are going to find it more challenging to have a visible 6-pack. And if that is your goal, power to you, but know that that's not always going to work out. Like, I have been extremely slim with strong core and did not have visible abs. Like, it is not always going to be what happens. And no, I haven't had children, but I did have a 10-pound ovarian tumor, and I do have a 6-inch long vertical abdominal scar, which definitely plays a part in that. If I didn't have that and I hadn't had that surgery, very possibly I would have had visible abs at that weight. Who knows? But it doesn't matter, because at that weight I was actually really sick and I had a whole lot of problems that I've spent the last decade sorting out. Sometimes I feel like I'm beating this to death, but I weigh more right now, but I am healthier right now. Well, maybe not at this exact moment, because I'm still recovering from back injury from last week, where I slipped on a wet floor and caught myself and my right eye got messed up. But in general, I'm healthier than I was at that weight, but I weigh a whole lot more. In a before and after, you would definitely say that the after is the before. Is that a brain teaser? It's a little bit of a brain teaser. You can't look at a photo of a before and after and assume that the after is the better photo. Because maybe they just changed the lighting. Maybe they put a coat of paint on it. Maybe they ignored the soft spot in the floor where you very possibly could fall through it if you walked on it in the wrong way. What's happening under the surface is a whole lot more important. It's a whole lot more difficult to take care of. It's a whole lot more challenging, and it's a whole lot less exciting, because people like a good before and after. And a lot of times, if you do things right, the before and the after can look very similar. And not to say that all before and afters are bad, because remember, if you're doing the work under the surface, sometimes it shows on the surface, and that can be great. But we have to be really careful about congratulating people on work that is just at the surface. If they can't tell you that they have lower stress levels, that they are happier, that they have better digestion, they're sleeping better, all of these things, maybe their work was just on the surface. And that's okay. We've all been there. But I don't want you to judge your internal work on someone's surface work. And that's where I'm going to leave it for today. Before and afters can be great, can be inspirational, but don't let them make you feel bad about your perceived progress, because that work under the surface takes a whole lot longer, is a lot more challenging, but ultimately is a million times more important and more rewarding. And you know what? You can do it, because you're fabulous. So remember, the best transformations are not at the surface. I know it's hard, but keep working on it and you will get there. And if you need some help, I am always here. You can reach out at info@susiefevens.ca. You can find me, of course, at confessionsofaFitnessInstructor.com. My virtual wellness studio is welluniversity.ca. That's WELL university.ca. And you can find me on the Instagram at Susie Confesses and Facebook.com/Confessions of a Fitness Instructor. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Until next time, have a great day.